Hi Dahlia Love Club members, this is Eva here. I'm here in the evening at Hickory Heart Meadow Farm teaching garden, and I am deep soaking a few of the beds and fertilizing with some fish fertilizer, some seaweed and fish fertilizer. We tend to use Neptune organic seaweed and fish fertilizer. So the way that we do it is we just take the fertilizer, water it down into a bucket, and then drench the beds with pouring the bucket on. And you might ask how much fertilizer, how much of the emulsion you would use. And I tend to put, I'm very moderate with use of any kind of amendment, where I guess the term would be homeopathically kind of is what I tend to like to do. So the less that you would need to see a difference. So what I've noticed is you only need to put about, if it's a 5-gallon bucket, I put about 2 inches of the emulsion, and I fill it almost all the way up. Not sure what that equals to, but it's not a very strong mixture, but although it smells very, very strong. And then I also water after. First, I water first, to make I believe if you water first or you drench first, the soil is more receptive to getting a drench of fish fertilizer into it, because I see it slips in better. And then after I pour it on, I also continue to water, just like I'm showing you right here, just to wash it down. And I'm making some of this up, as you know, but I've noticed now we have had good results doing it this way. It's not that every single plant or every single bed ends up getting fertilized, but if I notice, or if you notice a section that might be stunted or much shorter, and you remember you planted it around the same time as the guy next to it, of course you can keep very good record keeping if you want it to be more accurate, but just by checking in you can see, like for example this little group here that I'm watering over their heads, they have a lot more to go. In fact, those are the dinner plate varieties, which I think tend to grow more slowly anyway, but knowing that the plant is going to have a lot of work ahead of itself to make these 10-inch blooms and all the infrastructure to hold that up, I feel like giving it some food is a good nurturing act. And watering it in and drenching it to the point where you see some puddles is also helpful, because I notice that after you do that, the next day you'll see immediate growth. You don't want to do it too much, because you'll end up with a lot of leaves and less blooms if you do too much fertilizing at this stage. It's starting to get to be the end of when you would fertilize. I didn't tell you all about that earlier, mostly because we didn't get to it ourselves, and we're following our crop just to see, that's what this whole series of videos is exactly what we're doing. So you can see these plants are doing pretty well without any extra amendments or fertilizing from us, and just deep drenching, as we've mentioned. There's Puppy hanging out, the lord of the the lord of the beds over here. And here's another view. They're very bushy. They're starting to get bushy. Even in the last couple days, they've taken off. We've had some rain. I wanted to also mention that sometimes the rain seems like it might be a big, huge drench. And unless it's a huge, huge drench, like your pathways are puddled and all that, it's really not the same as letting your water run for as long as it would take to make the soil look like that at the end. That's very drenched. This has been drenched. I think I've been here 40 minutes maybe. Okay, so I'm very bad with the numbers, as you know. You probably noticed. What I'm advocating is that you take some time to get to know your plants and give yourself time to see how they react. So when I say that, sometimes don't do all of them with something new. Like if you're starting with this fish fertilizer, I recommend don't go through your whole crop and just keep pouring it everywhere and do the entire thing, because if that's a mistake, then you lose your whole crop, or all the plants become overdone. So if you just do a little and you see how they work, you can kind of then move on the next day, like we did these two today. And I'm going to see how they respond, and then maybe go over to find some other ones that are short or stunted, or however you want to call it, slow to the party. We did prune these pretty heavily, so that does delay their flowering, but it will give them really good structure and longer stems, which is what's been requested of us from some florists. Okay, well, that's 6 minutes longer than our usual videos, but I hope you're enjoying the view and you're having a good evening in the summertime now. Here's what we have going. It's amazing, the eucalyptus is doing really well over there. And David and Kayla have been managing the farm very gently and consistently. We're going to see you all in Port Jervis at the farmers market on Saturday. Tomorrow we'll make some bouquets. We might even be able to add a few dahlia tubers, dahlia flowers this time. There's a pink dye and there's a bright pink dye. I saw an orange one. Yep, right there. So have a great evening. Bye.